Today, we're going to be reviewing the portfolio of one of our Discord members, the Pulsi Major. The Pulsi Major is a 25-year-old software engineer, and the portfolio only contains 5 stocks today. We'll be reviewing all 5 and giving our thoughts on each as well as the portfolio as a whole. The first stock in this portfolio is the Walt Disney Company. Disney stands alone as the moat of moats, in my opinion, in the entertainment industry. They have so many iconic brands. They have their parks, their cruises, Disney Plus, Marvel, Pixar, Lucasfilm, which includes Star Wars, and so many more, as well as a 100-year content library filled with amazing animated classics that children to this day still enjoy. All that being said, Disney has had some issues lately since the pandemic with their margins being compressed, and they've struggled to get their margins back up to pre pandemic levels. However, that being said, if they could achieve profitability on Disney Plus, that should help them right the ship financially. All in all, I think you could do a lot worse than investing in Disney while their prices are so much lower than they've been historically. Next up, we have what I would consider to be the Everything Everywhere company. Yes, we're talking about Amazon. Amazon is that company that, if you're a Prime member, can have pretty much anything you want to your doorstep in a day, maybe 2 max, almost anywhere in the United States. That's a pretty impressive feat. However, their e commerce business that they're known for has relatively low margins. They are making up for that to a certain extent by growing their Amazon Web Services, which have much, much more favorable margins. Their revenue is very high, but unfortunately, their profitability isn't there just yet. It's probably pretty likely that they will get there somehow eventually, but I don't know when. This business definitely is a moat, so far 2 out of the 5 companies in this portfolio have moats. Let's see how the third company rates. Third company in this portfolio is PayPal. PayPal is, of course, a payment processor and peer to peer money transfer service. It has international presence, rated as a narrow moat by Morningstar. It has a number of subsidiaries, including Zoom with an X, not the video chat thing, Honey, Braintree, and of course, Venmo, which I think is the gold standard in peer to peer phone app wallet things. Granted, they do have competition from the likes of Cash App and Apple Pay. I think Venmo, however, is the gold standard there because, let's face it, to use Apple Pay, both the sender and the recipient need to be on iPhones. And while iPhones are, you know, half or a little more than half of the addressable market, they're leaving out the other half of the addressable market. And so even if someone has, Apple Pay and has an iPhone and wants to send money to someone else that doesn't have one, they need to pick a different service. So I think Venmo is probably going to be the overall winner in that area. My personal experience using it has been great. Most people I know prefer it. They have yet to really be able to monetize Venmo, and they have been offering things like, for example, a Venmo credit card. It has yet to be determined how exactly that will play out, but I do think that with the market perception being at an all-time low for PayPal right now, that it does present an interesting opportunity to potentially achieve outsized returns if they're able to move forward and continue to grow the business. Growth has slowed lately, but it is far from a dead business, as some would contend. Let's see what's up next. The fourth company in this portfolio is one that I also own some shares of. This is Paramount Global. The Pulse-I Major was kind enough to share some of the rationale for purchasing this stock, and it's pretty similar to my own. Basically, it's for more what they have rather than their recent financial performance. They have everything under the CBS, Paramount Pictures, and Viacom umbrellas. So think everything Comedy Central, Nickelodeon, etc. for Viacom, all the movies that Paramount has produced under the Paramount. And then for CBS, you have their sports, you have iconic series like Star Trek. This would seem to be a very powerhouse library. I mean, Paramount Plus has 80 million subscribers. However, they're not profitable on that yet. And ad spend is down on their live TV. So there are some headwinds in the near future for Paramount. But at valuations like these, with Berkshire having paid roughly $30 a share, from what I can tell based on the timing of when they bought, it seems like there's probably some value here somewhere, but not without risk. Now, stock number 5. For that stock, we have Target. This is the final position in the portfolio, and it is the smallest in terms of dollar amount. To me, it looks like maybe the rationale was to both diversify and potentially just the Pulse-I Major recognizing retail is facing some issues presently, and perhaps he was looking to find one that's been especially beaten up, but also that provides good value metrics. Target seems pretty attractively priced when you compare it to something like Walmart, for example. Their margins seem slightly better than Walmart, and frankly, Target is the place that people shop when they don't want to set foot in a Walmart. They trade at a pretty undemanding multiple of earnings, and they pay a fairly healthy dividend, although a dividend alone isn't a reason to buy a company. I can see why he probably added this company to the portfolio. That being said, the portfolio is only 5 positions, so it seems like he follows the philosophy of, hey, if I'm going to be investing, I'm going to be patient, wait for the opportunities that make sense, and just concentrate heavily into those opportunities. That does lend you to sort of lacking diversification to a certain extent, which means that if any of the individual companies you have are really volatile, emotionally it can be fairly hard to withstand. But if you have the temperament for it, and if you have time on your side, like the Pulse-I Major does at 25 years old, he can probably be patient and just wait around for the opportunities that make sense. So I can see why he did that. Overall, not bad. Now, before we reach our conclusion, make sure you subscribe to the channel if you like this video. Conclusion, 7.5 out of 10. Basically, seems like a pretty good selection of companies. I hold, of course, one of them, and probably will hold PayPal as well soon. Disney is in the bullpen. It's a company that I watch. So these are all companies that I've pretty much considered at some point in time. And more than one of them, I mean, these are moat businesses, right? So Disney, especially, and Amazon. So I think overall, he's got a pretty high chance of success. I would like to see maybe a few other holdings that are maybe a little bit different, just for that added diversification. But again, with time on his side, he can really afford to take his time. All in all, I can't really fault him. it seems like he's got a really, really good start. And if he continues to use this methodology, he will probably do well in the long run. Take it easy, everybody.